at a river in Thailand in 1990, where a group of people managed to capture a strong female crocodile and bring her to a black market in China through the border in Myanmar. There, a restaurant boss named Zhao, who is looking for crocodiles for his restaurant's signature dish, finds the crocodile from Thailand. The seller says that this crocodile is strong, an original one from Thailand. When Zhao tries to touch the crocodile becomes upset and tries to attack them. Not long after, a man manages to stop him with his wooden stick. The man is Liu, and he wants to buy the crocodile to become his own. 21 years later, after the purchase, Liu places the crocodile, who has already grown very large with a length of 8 meters, in his private crocodile park and names him Ameo. One day, a boy named Xiaoxing returns from school together with his friends. Xiaoxing lives in a village with a dam, a lake, and beautiful tea fields. Xiaoxing likes to play with Ameo in Liu's crocodile park, which is already bankrupt, by giving him meat snacks. But Ameo does not want to come out of his cave, so Xiaoxing waits while putting his test paper on his head because of the heat. Not long after, the paper is blown by the wind and falls into the crocodile's cage. Not only Ameo, but there are also many smaller crocodiles there. But Xiaoxing is not afraid of that, because he is already used to it, and the crocodiles also seem to be used to Xiaoxing's presence. Since Ameo does not want to come out, Xiaoxing offers the meat closer to the cave's entrance, and Ameo finally takes the meat. Suddenly, Liu comes and pulls Xiaoxing away from the crocodiles and tells him that the crocodiles have been hungry for half a year. Then a truck from Zhao's restaurant arrives to take all of Liu's crocodiles because Liu wants to sell them. He is forced to sell the crocodiles because he needs money for his family, and he feels sure that the restaurant can feed them and give them better conditions than his cages. Xiaoxing realizes that this also includes Ameo, so he refuses to let go, but Liu holds him back. Because the group has difficulties getting Ameo out, Liu helps them with his wooden stick, and slowly they get him out. When Ameo's head is already outside, the group shoots him with tranquilizer arrows, and Ameo finally falls unconscious. After Liu receives his money, Ameo is gone, and Liu looks depressed because he's forced to let him go. Meanwhile, Zhao already welcomes many visitors to his restaurant who want to eat crocodile dishes. He becomes angry because the stock of crocodiles is empty. After calling his team to ask where they are, the team finally arrives at his restaurant. His assistant admits that he bought Liu's crocodiles for 70,000 yuan, and Zhao happily says that the price is not too expensive. The crocodiles are prepared to be slaughtered one by one to be cooked, and when Ameo's turn comes with a long machete, he suddenly wakes up and stops the butcher. The butcher freezes, and Ameo throws him into the crocodile cage before escaping from the restaurant. The butcher's younger brother quickly tries to save him from the crocodile cage, but he fails, and finally, the butcher is eaten by the crocodiles. One of Zhao's men suggests reporting this incident to the police, but Zhao refuses, because the police will know that they are the ones responsible for Ameo escaping. Then the story shifts to a couple driving a car, with a girl named Yen, who has just returned from working abroad in Italy for 8 years. She has already earned 100,000 euros from her hard work, which makes her happy, as well as her boyfriend. Her boyfriend asks why she does not put the money into a debit card. Yen answers that she does not want to pay the 1.5% administration fee, which means she will lose 1,500 euros. And if she puts the money in the bank, she cannot see or feel it, so she decides to carry the euros everywhere she goes. After she asks for some water from her boyfriend, he gives her Liang tea with a panda logo in a box. But at that moment, she sees something shocking in the box, which is a bra of a girl. Her boyfriend becomes shocked, and Yen thinks that he has cheated on her while she was abroad. She orders him to stop. She becomes angry and tells him to leave, and he agrees, leaving her behind. She then tries to ask for a ride from cars, but no one helps her, which makes her cry. So she is forced to continue her journey through the tea field, calming herself by saying that she still has her money even though her boyfriend has abandoned her. In the middle of the journey, she suddenly meets Ameo in the tea field, which terrifies her. She climbs up a pole and tries to keep Ameo away by swinging her bag. But the bag falls into his mouth, and Ameo eats it, thinking it is food. A while later, Yen realizes that her bag is gone, and Ameo has disappeared somewhere, leaving only €1 note on the ground, which Yen does not notice. She then meets two people and tells them that there's a crocodile in the tea field. But the woman does not care, thinking that Yen is crazy. So Yen asks where she can find the nearest police station, and after the woman tells her, she quickly goes there. Meanwhile, at a house, Xiaoxing's father, Beiji comes home from his office to have lunch. He works as a policeman in the village. After he returns to his office, he meets Yin, who immediately reports her problem in a very panicked tone. Beiji does not believe her, thinking that her story is impossible. So Yin goes with him on his motorcycle to the tea field until they fall off the motorcycle. There, Yin explains everything and says that the two people in the tea field are witnesses. He then searches again around the area and finds a 500 € note, but it turns out to be incense paper. Beiji's suspicion becomes true that Yin is indeed crazy, and he leaves her behind. After they both leave, it is revealed that the woman secretly takes the real 500 € note and suddenly becomes happy, secretly keeping it. Even though she is considered crazy, Yin still tries to convince Beiji that she really saw the crocodile. Suddenly, she thinks of something, asking about the crocodile farm in the village. Meanwhile, Lu has already returned to his hometown, welcomed by his wife and son. His wife is angry that his job is always about taking care of crocodiles, but she is not angry anymore after knowing that the crocodiles are sold, since it seems they have argued about that matter before. At that time, Yin and Beiji arrive at Lu's crocodile farm, and Beiji calls Lu's phone number from a signboard to ask where the crocodiles are now. Lu answers that he has sold them to a restaurant boss, so Beiji calls Zhao. But Zhao and his team lie, saying that they already moved to another city. Knowing this, Zhao orders his team to move all of his crocodiles so the police will not find out. Meanwhile, at a dam, Xiaoxing plays with his friends there, together with a fat friend who is with a sheep on the ground. While they enjoy the moment, the fat boy tells the kids that he sees a big crocodile and tells them to stay away from the water. At that time, Beiji wants to ask Yin for her phone number for information, but she replies that her phone is already inside the crocodile's stomach, together with her bag. But this makes her think of trying to call her own phone, and it still connects, meaning the phone is still fine. However, Beiji says it is useless and helps her to go back to her place. But Yin refuses to go home before she gets her money back. Therefore, Beiji forces her to return, and at that moment, a man arrives to report that a sheep is missing, asking for Beiji's help to find it. After Yin gets inside the car, she dares to climb out of the window after the car moves because she feels unwilling to lose the money she earned for 8 years just like that. Beiji is moved by her effort, and he decides to help her again to find a crocodile. When they arrive at the dam, they find a rope of the sheep already loose, and Yin suspects that the sheep has been eaten by the crocodile. The man admits that he sees Xiaoxing playing in the water with his friends, which makes his father anxious. Not long after, they see blood in the water. Thinking it is a person, Beiji quickly saves it, but it turns out to be the sheep with only the head left. Beiji quickly goes back to his house, and his son is already home in a messy condition, saying that his fat friend tore his clothes. But he does not realize that his friend does this on purpose to distract the kids away from Ameo. After things calm down, Beiji says he will report this incident to his superior and tells Yin to stay overnight at his house. When he arrives at the bigger police station, Beiji asks for a gun from his friend, but his friend refuses, saying that he needs permission first from the police chief. Instead, his friend lends him a faster police motorcycle so he can go to Zhao's restaurant. When he arrives there, Zhao's team happens to still be at the place, and Beiji begins to investigate the cage. After seeing the broken cage and the truck to transport the crocodiles, Zhao is exposed by him. Because of this, Beiji reports the incident to Lu, who says that Ameo is in breeding season to lay his eggs at a place. Beiji also reports all the places where people see Ameo, and Lu replies that those places are on the same path as his crocodile park. Beiji realizes that his house is on the same path, which makes Lu suspect that his house is the next target. Therefore, Beiji quickly calls Xiaoxing, who is at his house, but Yan's mother's call connects first, making Beiji return home right after the call ends. After that, Beiji finally connects with his son and tells Yin that Ameo will return to the park and will pass through his house. At that time, Xiaoxing meets Ameo, who is already under his house, and Ameo starts to approach them both. Yin, who panics, takes a big knife, which reminds Ameo of the butcher who wanted to cut him before. This becomes worse when she throws the knife at Ameo, making him angrier, smashing the house while chasing them both. Sometime later, after they escape to the roof, Beiji arrives at his house, and he purposely crashes his motorcycle into Ameo, knocking him down. Not long after Ameo goes out of the house, they manage to push him away. After that incident, the police officers, together with soldiers, started to secure the situation around the village. Some villagers are questioned one by one about Ameo, including Zhao. Of course, he lies when he is asked for his testimony. And after he finishes, Yin asks him about the crocodile's digestion. Zhao answers that a crocodile's poop is like sand, and that it has the best digestive system among all animals in the world. Then Yin asks how long it will take if a crocodile swallows money. Zhao answers that it depends on the money. If yuan, it is easy to digest, but if dollars or euros, it is hard to digest. When Yin asks why, Xiaoxing helps answer that dollars and euros are more valuable, and Zhao laughs. He then asks Xiaoxing, "Do you have euros?" And when Xiaoxing answers that Ameo has swallowed 100,000 euros of hers, Zhao's mind becomes greedy, thinking it is a great chance. He quickly informs his team and urges them to take the big money from Ameo before it becomes poop. Zhao's team begins to prepare with weapons and tools, especially long machetes. Meanwhile, the police begin to prepare to handle Ameo. Liu is ready to return to the village to help, and Beiji finally gets permission from the chief to use a gun. Knowing that he now has a gun, Yin hugs him while crying, asking him to help retrieve her money, which shocks Beiji. After he tells her to let go, it is revealed that Yin only pretends in order to secretly take his gun, which makes her cry even harder. Beiji then tells her about his wife, who has already left them both and gone to Italy when Xiaoxing was still a toddler. Hearing this, Yin says that she will go to Italy to find his wife after this problem is solved, but Beiji replies that it is impossible. Still, he promises to help her get her money back, because actually the money will not be digested, since crocodiles have a bad digestive system. Meanwhile, Zhao's team has already arrived at the swamp forest, and they see two red lights in the distance, which they think are crocodile eyes. So Zhao shoots, and he manages to hit one. But when they come closer, it turns out to be a car's lamp that he shoots, with a couple inside making out. The next day, Beiji welcomes Liu, who has arrived in the village, and not long after, the same couple arrives to report the incident, also giving information about the clothes worn by the leader that Beiji had asked about. Beiji realizes that it must be Zhao's team, so he and his team prepare to go to the location Zhao passes. Just before leaving, Yin comes and wants to join them. But Beiji says it is not necessary, and tells her to take care of his son. Of course, she does not listen and takes Xiaoxing to follow the police because they seem to want to kill Ameo. Meanwhile, the younger brother, the butcher, is far behind Zhao's team, because he becomes weak from the continuous bleeding of his hand. He got the wound when he fell last night while the team ran after shooting the car light and accidentally cut his own hand with a machete. As a result, he gets lost and becomes frightened, swinging his machete until he accidentally crashes into a tree and faints. Sometime later, Yin suddenly stops because she feels that she has stepped on Ameo, and she screams. Her scream is heard by Zhao's team, who think that Ameo is attacking, so they run away. But it turns out that it is only the machete of the butcher's younger brother that has fallen, and not long after that, they both meet Zhao's team, who have already run away. When they arrive at a lake, Zhao and his men see Ameo's footprints, and they suspect that he is inside the lake. Therefore, they think of luring him out with something alive, and they decide to use Yin and Xiaoxing as bait. Zhao intends that after he gets the 100,000 euros, he will go to Thailand to open another crocodile restaurant there, which makes Xiaoxing shout at his father. Beiji actually hears this, and he quickly goes toward the sound, while Zhao's men prepare to trap Ameo. Ameo finally comes out of the lake and approaches Yin and Xiaoxing. But instead of eating them, Ameo smells them closely and lies down, knowing that Xiaoxing is someone he already knows. This chance is then used by Zhao's men to trap Ameo, but when one of them throws the net actually catches Zhao himself. As a result, he gets pulled by Ameo's tail, dragging him into the lake. Luckily, he is still fine, but after Beiji and the others have already arrived, Zhao is eaten by Ameo from behind, and finally, he dies. Knowing that Ameo escapes to the other side of the lake, Yin, Beiji, and Liu chase him with a police jeep. After some time chasing him, Yin shoots Ameo with Beiji's gun, but he immediately stops her, telling her not to kill him. Ameo keeps escaping from them until he reaches the tea plantation area, where he runs through the field and finally manages to escape from them by returning to the lake. Knowing this, the police team tells the visitors of the lake to move away quickly before Beiji approaches the police chief. Beiji admits he has an idea to track Ameo, which is by using GPS to trace Yin's phone that is inside Ameo's stomach. So the team immediately does it. After finding it, They give the location of a Mayo to Beiji, who goes with Lu by boat. But after some time, Yan's phone dies, suspected because the battery is empty. After Beiji and Lu decide to go ashore first, a couple who still stay at the lake is targeted by a Mayo. People realize this, so Beiji and Lu quickly approach with a speedboat and rush to save the couple. Luckily, a Mayo is stopped by Lu with a wooden stick, and they all return to land to discuss the next plan. Lu admits he has an idea to lure a Mayo, and if it works, he will tie a Mayo. But if it fails, he wants Beiji to headshot a Mayo through his open mouth. Lu then explains that a Mayo has been close to him for a long time by showing the bite scar on his hand. Back in 1997, he and a Mayo once did a circus performance, with a Mayo swallowing half of his body. If a Mayo really wanted to eat him, Lu would already be dead. After that, both of them begin to lure a Mayo again, and after some time, a Mayo appears again on the surface. Lu slowly calls a Mayo to approach him, while Beiji moves the boat toward the land. But in the end, a Mayo realizes the plan, which Lu says happens because a Mayo does not like other people. So Lu must go into the water himself to lure him. He begins to lure a Mayo alone, while Beiji prepares with his gun, before Yin and Xiaoxing arrive to meet them both. After some time, a Mayo finally comes back to the land, and they all reach an open field. Lu then calms a Mayo, but not long after, a troublemaker with a long machete arrives, who turns out to be the butcher's younger brother. He regains consciousness after fainting for some time, and now he still cannot accept that his brother died because of a Mayo, so he wants to chop a Mayo's head. But just before that, a Mayo reacts by throwing him away until he dies, and a Mayo becomes furious. Lu realizes that a Mayo no longer listens to him, so he tells Beiji to shoot. But tragically, Lu is struck first by a Mayo, and he is thrown away. As the situation becomes dangerous, Beiji has no choice but to headshot a Mayo, and finally, a Mayo dies. At the edge of his death, Lu sees a Mayo shedding tears, showing that he actually does not want to hurt his master. But he has no choice except to do what he must before they both truly die. After that sad event, Yin manages to take back her euros from a Mayo, but unfortunately, the money is already torn apart. Still, she refuses to give up, trying to repair the money one by one. Then Xiaoxing praises his father, saying, "Good job, Dad," which seems to hint that Beiji already tells Yin to become his wife. $1 Million Crocodile movie ends with a taxi driver sleeping without realizing that beside him, there are a Mayo's eggs beginning to hatch, and finally, which now seem to target a city, this time. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notification so you don't miss the latest recaps.